Oh, are we rolling? We're trying to roll. And we're rolling. Okay. All right, so everybody can see me. I can see everybody. Awesome. Got a little bit of head clearance. And feet are pretty good. All right, perfect. We're going to start by letting the arms float up tall. And we're going to stretch really tall. Imagine that you're hanging from your wrists. So you want to feel that stretch go all the way down to the root of your spine. And then we're going to swan dive down to a forward fold. Let everything hang down. And then wiggle anything that needs to wiggle. Your fingers, your wrists, elbows, shoulders, head and neck. Roll the spine up one vertebra at a time. Good. Hands back up overhead. Clasp the fingers together. Palms face the ceiling, and we do a circle on the ceiling. And then we reverse. Good. Palms face down. We pull one arm behind the head gently. A little bit of flexion in the spine laterally. And switch. Switch. And switch. Good. One arm comes in front of the body, other arm under the elbow. Pulling in gently, rotating up and down. Imagine that rotator cuff melting like butter. I think you might have grease on your camera lens, Nancy. Or maybe my vision's blurry.
Well, here we go.
Last night than I thought.
How's that?
Yeah, it's better. Thank you. Good. Switch.
It's coconut oil.
Coconut oil. Jamie loves her coconut. She puts it on everything.
Yeah, my hair, my skin, in my coffee.
Good.
I do it from time to time.
Shoulder rolls. Biggest circles you can find. And then we want to isolate only one shoulder, big circle. Open that rib cage. Switch. Big circle like you're doing a backstroke. And then alternate one and the other. Good. Back to the center. Feet about shoulder width apart. We're going to twist from the core, the dantian, arms loose and floppy like limp noodles. Relax your hips, your knees, and your ankles. Really pay attention to your arms, the feeling of those arms moving through space. And gently back to center. Good. We're going to arch the back and wiggle anything that needs to wiggle to make that more comfortable. Then flex the back. Wiggle. And then a few times we're going to go to arch and then flex. Arch, and then flex. Good, back to center. Feet double shoulder width apart, hip circles. Start small, slowly get bigger, and reverse. Search for any kinks. And one more time, reverse. Good. Feet are going to be double shoulder width apart, maybe even a little bit wider. We're going to bend the knees gently, and we're going to shift the weight. Shift the weight from one leg to the other. Try to get your feet pointing relatively forward, Nance. Your feet are kind of like out like that. Yep, relatively forward.
Belly.
Hips stay even. Good, and then add a little twist. So you're going to twist and then shift in that direction. Twist and then shift in that direction. We're going to open up that hip socket. Shifting and twisting. Good, back to center. Both feet together, hands on the knees. Circles with the knees. And reverse. Good. And now we got toe into the floor. We're going to do circles with the heels, focusing on relaxing those ankles. Make that ankle soft. And then reverse that circle. And switch. And reverse. Okay, so we're going to do a little bit of Qigong today. What you guys are going to notice is the deeper you get into the form, the less and less time we're going to have for Qigong. And that's because Qigong is something you're supposed to do on your own on a daily basis, unless you're attending a Qigong class. In a Qigong class, you'll just do these simple exercises the whole time, every class. Nobody gets confused. Much simpler. But it doesn't have the martial implication, and you don't get nearly as much benefit to the body as you do in Tai Chi, because Qigong is pretty much just static. There's not much moving in Qigong. I always start with Qigong, though, because it reminds you that this is really about feeling it. It connects you, it softens you, and when you feel the space, you move differently doing ward off than if you're just like trying to do like poses or whatever, right? So we always start with Qigong. We will get less and less because we'll have to devote more and more time to this form. Warm the hands up. Good, so we're going to start with the hands about waist height facing the ground. And you're just going to let them float. And I want you to let the palms soften. And imagine inhaling and exhaling through the palms of your hands like you have gills. Then really slightly, really subtly, you're going to start to do small circles with both hands, like you're waxing a car. My circles move in towards my body, but yours can go the other way. It doesn't really matter. We're just doing really small circles. And just be aware of the space between your hands and the earth. This is the beginning of what's called Buddha palm in Qigong. Good. Now let both hands float still, and as slowly as you can, let them twist to face each other very slowly, very gently, because I want you to notice every sensation. as they twist. Until eventually both palms will be facing each other. And as they face each other, let them float towards each other very, very slowly, very, very gently. Let that space contract. Arms stay soft, wrists are relaxed, elbows relaxed, fingers relaxed. And we're going to see how close we can get those hands together without actually touching. Notice what that space feels like. Notice what that awareness feels like. Notice that relaxation makes that sensation, that awareness stronger, but tension in your joints, tension in your ligaments, your tendons makes that sensation less. It makes the sensation weaker. So we're always softening deeper and deeper to increase our feeling awareness. Now with that space, we're going to begin to breathe. With the inhale, let that space expand just a tiny bit. And with the exhale, let that space contract just a tiny bit. So we're going to let our hands breathe like a bellows. Inhale, expanding. Exhale, contracting. Beautiful. Letting both hands float at the waist, palms up, fingers pointing towards each other. Shoulders are completely relaxed. We're going to inhale, letting the hands float up like helium balloons. Splash the face with electric chi water. Palms turn down. Exhale, everything in the body drains down into the earth. Then we want to relax even more. Inhale, floating up. Exhale, draining down. Using every repetition as an invitation to relax even deeper. Setting your intention that no matter how hard your mind tries to think today, you're not going to forget to feel space like this. We're going to let space feel thick and heavy and fluid like water for our entire practice. Good. And fingertips lead all the way up through the center, inhaling all the way up overhead. Palms turn out, exhale down all around in a big sphere. And then we relax even more. Inhale, pulling up through the root, through the spine, out through the crown. And exhaling down all around. Imagine you are doing this movement underwater. The softer you become, the more awareness you have of the volume of that liquid, of that space around you. Last one, inhale all the way up through the spine, out through the crown. Exhale down all around. Beautiful. And shake it out. Awesome. Now we're going to take our Qigong straight into our new sequence for this week. We're going to work with it just like Qigong. You guys have done all these pieces before, but we're going to do each step. First one is going to be your left arm, and this is going to be a horizontal wave. So if your hand is right out in front of you, imagine a wave is coming this way, pushes your elbow up, and then your hand sinks down to about the height of your waist. Wave pushes that elbow over the top, and then the hand sinks down the front. We inhale, letting the hand float up, and we exhale, letting the hand drain down. Now notice with this simplicity of movement, you can keep your body soft enough to really feel that space as you move through it, to really feel your chi. So that's one part of ward off. The second part of ward off, the other arm is going to be out in front of you, and we're going to let it go back and forth across the front of you. And as it does, let it get softer and softer so that it moves like seaweed in the ocean. Want it to be as soft as possible so that elbow bends, the wrist bends, the fingers bend. And imagine you're dragging it through water. How would the forearm, how would the wrist, how would the fingers follow that motion if you were dragging your hand through water? And on this one, we inhale as the hand comes across the front of the body, and we exhale as we open. Inhale, exhale. Last part of this is as the arm opens, we want to twist the body in that direction just a little bit, not a whole lot. And then we come back, the body twists to bring that arm back. And then the body twists to lead that arm opening. Palm is just slightly facing up, not completely flat. And back. Good. Now let's go to our ball. Left hand's on top. Other hand, Andy. Yep. Right here. Top hand sinks. Bottom hand opens like you're throwing that frisbee. That's ward off. We come back to our ball. And now let's add our shift. So we're going to shift onto that left leg. Weight is on the left leg. And then as we ward off, we shift onto that right leg. Come back to your ball. And now I want you to really imagine that we're holding a pillar of light here. And as we do this ward off, we're stretching this pillar out so that you can feel the connection between those two hands. Inhale, coming back. Exhale, ward off. Inhale to your ball. Exhale, ward off. Two more. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Good. Hold the hands there. Now from here, the hands flip and we sink, roll back, come right back to our ball. Now we ward off. Hands flip, roll back, back to our ball. Ward off. Hands flip. Good. And now we're going to do palm press. Hands are like this, but facing that direction. Barely touching, not tight, barely touching. And we push across the front of our body. Roll back. Palm press. Roll back. Okay, now when we do this palm press, imagine you were pushing against a wall and you want the energy in your body to lean into that wall, and then as you lean, you begin to press to push that wall away from you. So you're going to use your lean to generate force. Roll back, and we shift into our palm press, pushing that wall gently away. Roll back, palm press. Roll back, palm press. Good, one more. Roll back, palm press. Here the hands flatten, and we roll over the top of a ball as we shift the weight backwards, and then we push through cotton as we shift towards the wall. Hands flatten, roll over the top of that ball softly, shifting back. Exhale, pushing through cotton. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. One more. Inhale, exhale. Good. Let the hands flatten. And now we're going to skim the surface of the water to come all the way back to the center. And now we're going to make a ball on the other side. Right hand's on top this time. Okay? And actually, let your left hand relax. We're going to start with our wave. Just coming up and down, imagining a wave pushing your elbow up and your hands sinking down. Feeling this motion like a piston rolling over the top of that wave and then sinking down the backside. So remember, this up only goes about as high as your clavicle, your sternum. And then the down only goes about to your belly button. Good. Other arm, opening in front of you. This is our lateral wave coming back, and we let that elbow soften. We let the wrist soften. Let the hand drag behind the wrist like a paintbrush. Remember to imagine you're moving through water. What would your arm, I love to do this in the hot tub in the pool. Let your arm just flow back and forth and feel how it follows that fluidity naturally. Good. Now let's combine those two. Right hand's on top of your ball. And to ward off, one hand sinks, the other hand opens. And then we come back to our ball. And then let's add our shift, shifting onto that right foot. We shift the other way as we ward off, as we open. Come back to your ball. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. One more. Exhale. Leave the hands there. They both flip. Roll back. Back to your ball. Ward off. Both hands flip. Roll back. Back to your ball. Ward off. Both hands flip. roll back. Good, and now palm press. Both hands barely touching, pushing across the front of your body, shifting into that push, and roll back. Palm press. Roll back. Palm press. Roll back. Good. Last one, palm press. Hands flatten. Roll over the top of that ball, shifting the weight back. Two-hand push through cotton. Inhale, rolling over that ball. Exhale, two-hand push. Inhale. Exhale. Good. Hands flatten and come back to the center. Awesome. So now we're going to connect all of this and see how the sequence works. This is called Grasp the Bird's Tail. So in the form, so I go that way first. Hello, can you see me? Oh, there we go. Okay, so in the actual form, you guys are going to go this way. So start with your right hand on top of your ball. Okay, and we're going to ward off, shifting our weight. Flip the hands, roll back. Palm press. Across the front of your body, pushing against that wall. Hands flatten. Roll over the top of that ball. Two-hand push. Okay, that's the whole sequence. Now the hands are going to skim the water. Come back to the ball, and we're going to repeat that on the other side. Ward off. Hands flip. Roll back. Palm press. Roll over the ball. Two-hand push. Good. Skim the water. And again, ball on the other side. And ward off. Roll back. Palm press. Roll over the ball. Two-hand push. Skim the water. Ball on the other side. Ward off. Roll back. Palm press. Roll over the ball. Two-hand push. Good. Skim the water. Ball on the other side. Ward off. Roll back. Palm press. Roll over the ball. Two-hand push. Good. And shake it out. Okay, what time we got? 2:06. All right. So now we're going to go to the top of the form. Okay, the challenge with that piece is that we're learning the form, moving forward and backwards, because that's what's easiest to do visually. But that actual sequence that you just did, when we do it this way, we'll be facing the side. I'm going to see if everybody can actually stay with that. We'll figure it out. We might have to turn when we do that part or something. But let's start from the top. We're going to start with just our walking, our low body. And you guys are going to step to the back of the room. and your left foot should be forward. Cat stance, 45 degrees, weight on your back foot. We shift the weight forward, shift the weight backwards, pivot the front foot, step gently, cat stance, shift the weight forward, shift the weight backwards, pivot that front foot, step gently, shift forward, shift backwards, pivot the front foot, step gently, shift forward, shift backwards, pivot, step gently. All right, good, and back. And now let's add the upper body. Same position, cat stance, left foot's forward. We're going to have our ball with the right hand is on top of your ball, but then you'll be facing the wall. And now we're going to shift forward, ward off. Leave the hands there, shift backwards, pivot the front foot. As you step, ball on the other side, left hand's on top. Beautiful. Shift forward, ward off. Leave the hands there, shift backwards. Pivot the front foot. Step, ball on the other side, right hand's on top. Ward off 3, shift forward. Good. From here, you shift back, both hands meet overhead. Front arm, low block. White crane spreads its wings. Boom, this is our pretty stance. Good, now we're going to come back to our ball. Right hand's on top. And now we're doing brush knee push. Front hand is a low block. Top hand pushes a wall straight out in front of you. Good. Shift your weight back. Pivot the front foot. As we step, ball on the other side. Left hand's on top. Brush knee, low block. Push. Shift the weight back. Pivot that front foot. Step gently, ball on the other side. Last one, brush knee. Push. Good. As you shift your weight back, both hands come up to archer and then sink into en garde. Beautiful. And then your right hand is going to come all the way back towards the back of the room. Repulse the monkey. Front foot comes up and we step straight back. And then the back hand curls like you're swimming. Both hands brush past each other. And that left hand goes all the way to the back of the room. Repulse the monkey. Go to step. Repulse the monkey 2. Hands swim past each other. Open all the way out. Front foot comes up. Step straight back. Hands swim past each other. Brush the monkey 3. Repulse the monkey, sorry. And then step that foot straight back one more time. Repulse the monkey 4. And right here, we're going to come back to our ball. Right hand's on top. Boom. Okay? So now let's see if we can add. This is where we stopped last week, and this is where everything we just did today adds on. So from right here facing the wall, okay, this is everything we just did. So you're going to lean towards me, ward off. Then your hands are going to flip, roll back. Then you're going to do palm press, but you're going to come towards me with it. Palm press forward. And then your hands are going to flatten and roll over the top of a ball. 2-hand push. Okay? Good. Now let's see if you can do it facing the other way. We're going to skim the water. And we come to ball on the other side. So now your left hand's on top. And now you're going to ward off away from me. Ward off to the wall. Away from me. Ward off. Hands flip. Roll back. Palm press to the wall away from me. Flatten your hands. Roll over that ball. 2-hand push to the wall away from me. Then skim the water to come back to the center, facing the wall, and come back to a ball. Right hand's on top. Boom. Awesome. So I was looking the other way, so I couldn't really see how you guys did. Did that work for you guys looking at the wall?
Yeah.
Say what?
You need to practice more.
You could practice more. Okay, let's do, we've got about 15 minutes. Let's do the thing we added facing forward one more time, and then we'll do just it sideways, and then we'll connect the whole form. Okay, so we're going to start here, and this is what we just added today. Okay, shift the weight onto this leg, and we're going to ward off. Then we roll back. Then we palm press. Hands flatten. We roll over the ball. And 2-hand push. Hands flatten. We skim the surface of the water. And now we do ball on the other side. And ward off. Roll back. Palm press. Roll over the top of that ball. 2-hand push. Skim the water back to the center. And ball on the other side. Okay, so that's everything we added today. I want to do it again now, but I want you to face this way. And I'm only making you do it like this so that we're not stopping and turning in the middle of the form, because then it's impossible to keep up with what's what. So we want to face the same way as we do the whole form each time. Okay, so starting from here, ball, right hand's on top of the ball. You're going to shift towards me for ward off. Hands flip to roll back. And then we're going to do palm press towards me. Hands flatten, roll over the top of that ball. 2-hand push. Good. Skim the water back to center. Other hand goes on top this time. This should be your left hand. And now you're going to do the same thing, just the other direction towards the wall. So we're going to ward off towards that back wall. Hands flip. Roll back. Then you're going to do palm press towards that back wall. Hands flatten. Roll over the ball. 2-hand push. Hands flatten. Come back to the center. Back to your ball. Right hand's on top. Okay, awesome. So the way we'll end up doing this, Nancy, is when we're doing this part of the form, and we can do this time. You guys switch positions so that Nancy is where is it Diane? Linda, sorry, hon. Switch with Linda.
Want to do it right now? Okay.
Yep. Okay, so and then if there's enough space in there, you guys try to be in a straight line. Let's see if it works with you guys in a straight line. No. Yep. Get in a straight line. You're in the middle, Andy. Okay, and get a little bit more space between you guys. All right, good. Okay, so now when we come to that part we just added today, you guys can watch Nancy. Nancy, you should be able to do that second part facing the back wall, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so you guys watch her when we do that second part, but we're going to start from the top. So in that straight line, step to the back. And cat stance. Right foot is forward, feet 45. We got a ball with the right hands on top of the ball. And here we go from the top. Ward off, shifting forward. Leave the hands there, shift back, pivot the front foot, step gently, ball on the other side, left hand's on top, ward off, shift forward, leave the hands there, shift backwards, pivot the front foot, step gently, right hand's on top of your ball, and third ward off, shifting forward. Good. Now as we shift back, both hands come up, wrist touch, front hand low block, white crane spreads its wings. Good. Now we come back to our ball, right hand's on top, and this time low block, brush knee, push, straight towards the wall. Shift the weight back, pivot the front foot, step gently, left hand's on top of your ball, brush knee, push. Good. Shift back, pivot the front foot, step gently, right hand's on top. Third one, brush knee, push. From here, we shift the weight back, on guard. So your feet should be in a straight line forward here. Weight's on the back leg, up on the toe on your front foot. Boom. Good. Now that right hand is going to open all the way to the back of the room. Repulse the monkey. Front foot comes up. Pretty pose. Slide that foot straight back. Back hand curls like you're swimming. Both hands swim past each other. Remember, this is like brushing a hand off of you. And then we open all the way on the other side. Repulse the monkey 2. Step straight back. Hands swim past each other. Repulse the monkey 3. Footstep straight back. Hand comes and brushes. Open. Pulse the monkey 4. Foot slide straight back. Brush off. And so we should come back to here. Left foot is forward. We're back in cat stance. And then we come back to our ball, right hand on top. Okay? And then this is what we added today. You're going to shift forward, ward off. Hands flip, roll back. Palm press towards me. Hands flatten, roll over the ball. 2-hand push. And then we skim the water. Come back to your ball, left hand's on top. And now watch Nancy. We do ward off towards the back wall. Hands flip, roll back. Palm press towards the back wall. Hands flatten, roll over the ball. 2-hand push towards the back wall. And then hands skim the water back to center, facing the wall, and our right hand's on top of our ball. Boom. Good job. All right, we got 10 minutes. Let's go through this one more time. Starting cat stance, right foot forward, left hand on top of your ball. Sorry, right hand on top of your ball. Facing this wall. Yep. Right hand's on top of your ball. From the top of the form, ward off, shifting forward. Shift back. Pivot the front foot. Step. Left hand's on top of your ball. Ward off, shifting forward. Shift the weight back. Pivot the front foot. Step. Right hand's on top of your ball. Ward off. Shift the weight back. White crane spreads its wings. Good. Back to your ball. Right hand's on top. Now we're going to do low block. It's brush knee, push, straight forward. Shift the weight back, pivot the front foot, step, left hand's on top of your ball, brush knee, push. Shift the weight back, pivot the front foot, right hand on top of your ball, brush knee, push, number 3. And then on guard, sink. Feet are in a straight line, toe here. Right hand opens to the back of the room, all the way open, repulse a monkey, 1. Step straight back. Back hand swims past the other one. Open all the way on the other side. Repulse the monkey, 2. Foot goes straight back. Hands swim past each other. All the way up here. Repulse the monkey, 3. Step straight back. Hands swim. And all the way up on that back foot. Repulse the monkey, 4. Foot slips straight back. Brush. And then we come back to the center, facing the wall, and ball with the right hand on top. Okay? And now you're going to ward off, shifting towards me. Hands flip, roll back. Palm press towards me. Hands flatten, roll over the ball. 2-hand push. Then the hands are going to skim that water, coming back to the center, facing the wall. And the left hand's on top of your ball this time. And you guys watch Nancy. We do a ward off towards the back wall. Hands flip, we roll back. And we do a palm press towards the back wall. Hands flatten, roll over the ball. 2-hand push. And then we skim the water back to the center facing the wall. And your right hand's on top of your ball. Beautiful. Shake it out. And now I want you guys to watch. This is everything we did today. It's going to make more sense when you're looking at it this way. And what I'm going to try to do is maybe when we do teacher training next week, Nancy, or you're not usually there for teacher training, but what I want to figure out is if you guys have enough width so that you can do this facing me. It's easier to learn the way we've done it, but it's easier to practice it this way. So I got to come all the way over here to make room for this walking that we do, and then we come back to right here to do what we did today. So we start here, we open, inhale, we did that last week, and then we start here with our ball, ward off, 1, ward off, 2, ward off, 3, white crane spreads its wings, back to your ball, brush knee push, 1, brush knee push, 2, brush knee push, 3, archer, relax into on guard. And then we have repulse the monkey. Here, 1. Here, 2. Here, 3. Here, 4. And then when we come out of our 4th one, we come back to our ball. And then this is where we started today. Ward off, roll back, palm press, roll over the ball, 2-hand push. And then we do all of that on the other side. Ward off, roll back, palm press, roll over the ball, 2-hand push. And then we come back to our center. And this is about halfway through the form, okay? It's really not that many movements, but you do each movement over and over. So we got a ward off that we do 3 times. Then we have a brush knee push. That's 2 movements. Then we have repulse the monkey. We do that 4 times. And then we have that sequence. That's all we've done. But because we do each one multiple times, we're almost halfway through the form. Okay, back to center. Feet together, arms at the sides. Actually, feet shoulder width apart. We're going to start with our twist, arms loose and floppy, letting out all the tension, letting out all the mind, trying to control and remember. Coming back into the feeling. Good, and back to the center. And then let's do our raising chi, because this is how we open the form. Elbows raise, wrists raise, fingers raise. We roll over the top of that wave and we sink down the backside. And we want to really concentrate on the relaxation, really bring yourself back into the awareness of the space. Notice how much more you feel the space when you're not trying to remember a bunch of pieces. Good. One more. Inhale, floating up. Exhale, draining down. Good. Hands by the side. Arms are totally relaxed. Shoulders are relaxed. We're going to inhale the arms out and up, but the wrists are going to be soft. Fingers are going to drag behind, and we're going to imagine water dripping down off of our fingertips. Inhale, floating out and up. Fingertips point together overhead. Exhale, everything in the body drains down and into the earth. Beautiful. Relax even more. Inhale, floating. Exhale, draining. Last one, the most effortless thing you've ever done in your life. Inhale, floating up. Hands come to prayer pose overhead. Exhale down to the heart center. Allow your awareness to rest effortlessly in the center of every sensation. Accepting every sensation because every sensation is true. And every sensation is you. Remember, the body, mind, and spirit are not separate components, merely different aspects of the same one experience. The more we unify the body, mind, and spirit through movement, breath, and awareness, the more effortless life becomes. Namaste.
Namaste.
Good work, guys. So I want to reiterate that obviously the more you practice, the less the mind struggles, you know. These movements become ingrained in your nervous system, and we will keep refining the quality of the movements. I'll probably spend a little bit of time next week, and I guess you'll just have to check out the video if you're going to be gone, Andy. I'll spend a little bit of time next week explaining details of each move. I don't like to get into the details too early because you got enough stuff you're thinking about already. You don't want to think about the finer details until you have the general move. But we're far enough into the process now that I know you guys want to start really feeling that things are happening properly. And even if you can't remember it when you're following along, if you're doing it properly, it feels better than if your foot's in the wrong place or you got the wrong hand wherever. It is a process of learning. And the reason I focus mostly in my teaching on Tai Chi as opposed to Qigong is that Qigong is great and it makes you feel really good and fluffy, but it doesn't affect your daily life the way Tai Chi does. Because Tai Chi is martial and discipline, because it works with movement, because it works with both sides, coordination, there's a power and a strength in Tai Chi that I don't believe you get just from Qigong. So I include as much Qigong as I can so that we don't forget that we are working with energy. But the Tai Chi makes it functional, and you guys will start to notice in your life, oh, wait, I use way less energy going up a flight of steps, or I noticed that I didn't bang on the steps when I was going down. Like I used to, and now I just float, when I go down steps. All kinds of things, little things like that you'll notice. Please share those with me as you discover them. Anybody have any questions about what we did today?
I'm still sharing them.
Say what?
Weight on the back foot makes quite a difference in balance.
It makes a difference in your balance?
Yeah, if the weight's on the back foot, and then on the next back foot,
right.
Real helpful to just walk right and not juggle yourself around while you're walking.
Totally. It has a lot of functional implications just in terms of balance itself, but then also in terms of altercation. If your weight is on your front foot, you're very, very vulnerable to be swept. If your weight is on your back foot, you can always move that front foot quickly and easily. And almost every combat discipline, boxing and Muay Thai and like all those, everybody acknowledges keep your weight back away. And it just increases balance. It increases power. It's, so there's a reason they call it cat stance, because cats are always like that. They're always ready to jump or to pounce. Awesome. Thanks for that feedback. Any questions from you, Nance?
No, I need to practice more. I know that. As you know, I've had a busy week, but practice. That's
the key. It's the key, and it's the only way I learned as fast as I did was practicing every day. And there's no substitute, really. If you find one, let me know, and we'll have a good business model.
Yeah, but you get the value. Never mind learning how to do it. You get the value out of having to concentrate on one thing. It's like a meditation.
It's moving. It's moving meditation. Tai Chi is totally moving meditation. And anybody that's trying to meditate or struggling with meditation, if you do Qigong or Tai Chi beforehand, it's so much easier. It's so much easier because your energy is already open and connected. It's much, much easier to sit. And a lot of teachers suggest that Qigong and Tai Chi were developed by the monks in order to help them with their sitting practice, because the sitting is the main, aspect of Buddhism and Zen. That's where the work is really done. But yeah, practice is challenging, and there's no way around it. And I'm dealing with that with the piano right now. I would love to be able to just start playing, but I got to learn scales. I got to learn chords. I got to, and there's no way to do it but to put the time in,
Yeah.
Any questions? And it's Linda, right?
Right.
That's my aunt's name is Linda, so that should be easier now. Any questions from you?
No, I don't think so.
You guys are doing a great job, and I know you feel confused, but I felt confused in every dance class I've ever been to, But then eventually you keep doing it, and you're like, wow, that looks cool. Eventually you get somewhere. And this is functional. Dance class, you just get to have fun, but it doesn't really affect your life, that much. This stuff really affects your life, and that's why, that's why I still feel called to teach it. It's kind of affected everything I do. Tai Chi's like, it's an operating system. It's a language of how to function with the world. It's not just martial arts. It's not just health. It's really a language of how to function with the world, how to follow the path of least resistance. That's the key. Following the path of least resistance, because that's what all energy in the universe follows. Air, wind, water, light, sound, everything follows the path of least resistance. So when we learn to follow that path, we exist more harmoniously with our environment and ourselves. Great work, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
See you next week.
I'll see you
2
Tuesday.
weeks for me.
Yeah, 2 weeks. And remind me to get you the video, Nance.
All righty. Yeah. Bye.
Thank you.